I'm surprised I'd find you, of all people out here this late. How did I know it was you? Well, that's easy. I recognize your footsteps. Everyone has a distinct way of walking. A distinct way their footsteps sound that's different to everyone else. I've learned to differentiate who is approaching me from the sound of their footsteps. That's one of the reasons on how I can tell a friend from foe before I've even laid eyes on the person approaching. What am I doing out here? I'm well aware it's not safe outside the city right now, but my safety should be the least of your concerns. It's a nice night, and it's peaceful out here. I just wanted to go somewhere away from the lights and the hustle and bustle of the city. Somewhere I could be alone with my thoughts. That last battle, it really reminded me of something. This whole situation with Azagorath and his minions, really. Honestly, the situation is just so familiar. But they're all memories of a past I've tried so hard to forget. To escape. And yet it comes back. And continues to haunt me. Why don't you sit down here with me? We can look at the stars together. It's a beautiful, clear night. You can see so many stars from up here. When I lived in the Underdark, I never thought I would actually get to see the stars at all. I wasn't sure I was ever going to be able to leave that place. But I had a few books that had pictures of the sky in them, and I vowed that one day I would get to see them myself. I used to study those books, and I kept them with me like a lifeline. Like they were my only hope for a life beyond all I'd known. Eventually, though, it seems leaving was no longer my choice. And it was out of my hands. I used to be the commander of a rather large army of my fellow drow, each with different, unique skills. Despite the sheer number of them, I knew them all by name. I knew of their families, and I knew their stories. They weren't just soldiers to me. They were people. I suppose it was that emotion that led to everything collapsing and failing as it did. We went to war against an ancient enemy of our race. We fought long and hard, but slowly. One by one, I lost each of my comrades. And as more fell, the more emotional and less logic-fueled I would become. I stopped listening to our tacticians. I started relying on pure emotion and raw strength to guide my every move. And I led my army into one defeat after another. Eventually I came down from my high horse and saw the bodies littering the ground around me, and I couldn't stand it. I knew it was my fault they were gone. They had laid their lives on the line for our race at my command, and this is how I repaid that trust. I slaughtered each and every enemy on my own, spending months hunting down their nests and hideouts until they were all wiped out. By the time I returned to my city, news had spread of my failure as a commander. I was branded as an insolent traitor, and they chased me out and into the winding, labyrinthine chasms that make up the Underdark, with nothing more than my weapons, the clothes on my back, those books, and a week's worth of rations. I was down there, lost and alone, for a total of 3 weeks before I found my way to the surface. And even still, I had quite the ways to go until I made it to Arendor. They were right to chase me out and shun me from their community. It was my fault my kin had perished, after all. Every night I think back on those days, and I am plagued by nightmares of those events, forced to relive them time and time again. For a while, it had all stopped, and I thought I'd finally moved past it. But now that we're fighting Asgoroth and his minions, it all just takes me back. I feel like I'm reliving those events of my past again every day, and I am scared to lose my new allies. To lose you. I wouldn't be able to cope with any more loss, especially if the people are once again relying on me to do my part. I felt alone in this world for so long, and I can't go back to that feeling. I don't know what will happen to me if I do. You're important, and not just to me, but to so many people. You're a beacon of hope to Arendor in these dark times, and if it was because of my mistakes that you were lost to us, I'd be just more than shunned and forced out of the city. They would likely have my head. No, you're right. I need to stop living in the past, and I need to let go of it. The only reason I feel like I'm reliving it is because I haven't been able to move past it. But this isn't like that at all. If I don't start to see this goal for what it is, to recognize those around me as new allies, completely separate from what I once knew, I'd be jeopardizing our whole operation. I'm glad you got my back, and aren't afraid to tell me, honestly, that I'm being an idiot. So many people are too afraid, just because of the fact that I'm Drow. They're worried that if they offend me, I'll do something to them. But I never would. I am more than just my race, more than my past. And you can see that. Come on, we should probably head back. I'm sure there must be someone wondering where you are by now. Thank you for tonight. I appreciate you listening. If you enjoyed our time together and want to see more, you should subscribe to the channel. If you're one of our adult fans, you should consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/Celesterra. Or you can order your own personal audio at anigomi.com/commissions. See you next time.